where kids witness the divorce of their parents transform into a car crash. We become orphans who hitchhike our way through this hell on earth. I always remember my parents' fist fights from my bedroom when I was small, but in the morning, I never saw a bruise. But that doesn't mean that these bruises never existed. Throughout their divorce proceedings, this was me, a child with movement like a gypsy between my dad's new apartment, then to his parents, then to my mom's, a price paid for two adults to avoid the police from getting involved. Again, this exchange happened once a week on the Friday, and on this day my dad did not feel like leaving, and my mom grew weary of hiding from everyone that she's getting this divorce because she's tired of having her face bashed in. You know, that's a saying in the South. That whenever the sun shines bright and rain falls heavy to the ground, that somewhere the devil is beating his wife. As the statistics reads, boys who witness their mothers' faces mangled by the bullet fist of their fathers are twice as likely to go up to use their mates' bodies as target practice on this day. The sun shined bright and the rain fell heavy to the ground. It just looked like my mother's body hitting the floor. Followed by my confusion, me looking on in my grandparents' living room as the hellmouth opened and the devil found a way to exist on this plane. My grandfather stood next to me, did not look ashamed, actually acted as if my father was doing what he's been taught. But what my father didn't realize is that when he hit my mother, that was not the only person that he hit. He hit my body, knocked it into confusion to where I could not look at my father without seeing his swinging hand, his grip around neck, his boiling anger that caused fear in everyone that he loved. And I am always afraid because they say boys grow up to be just like their fathers and ain't after this devil's son. The next in line with the ability to open this type of hell mouth. So I pray that I have not inherited my father's genes to the point where I confuse sunshine and raindrops as a reason to bust my lover's lip. Pray that I would never be in a situation that would make the devil come out of me, that would make my father come out of me. Pray that it's not inside laying dormant just waiting for the sun to shine, for the rain to fall, for me to have this excuse to cause hell on earth.
You can look. I want you to see this, to witness the resurrection of flesh that refused the grave, its small, hungry mouth and turned up in glitter at its own burial. There is nothing ask left of the woman you see. Nothing either permission or forgiveness. There is only every grace this body has been granted. Only new skin meeting the forbidden kiss of open air. Only give when there is abundance. What you see is abundance. And I know the world doesn't want it. And I don't fucking care. I don't mind if they want to call me vanity. Call me full of everything, including myself. It doesn't bother me when I'm compared to the giant beasts of the world. Tell me more about how small you see yourself when you look at me. I can take it. I was built, brick house, for this. But I will not do it in the dark. I will turn on every light in this room so I can show off my best dress and my crooked eyeliner and the bare knuckle beating I took from my own shame for the audacity to look so goddamn good in them both. Every time I show up in a new space, it's a game of chicken with the world. It's a dare to anyone who followed all the rules and still wears their body like a bad suit into every room and me. Such a large and willing target to soak up all the rage they have for anyone who refuses to play the game. That's the thing about visibility. You're bound to be seen. But I don't care if you look. If I am full of anything, it won't be shame, won't be burial, won't be accepting something just because it was handed to me. I meant to be here. I meant to look this good.
Son of a bitch tried to kill me. Perhaps I'm being dramatic, histrionic even, but the son of a bitch, depression tried it. First you took my friends, then you take my son, and when I believe the darkness is as it gets, you make me look light-skinned and steal my family, you hungry ass bitch. You think my life to be your sweet at the end of a sad meal. I am not your just dessert. You do not deserve me, depression. You have the audacity of an unsolicited dick pic to speak to me with my own voice to convince me I am worthless. That's sad. Bitch don't even got his own voice to spit with. I survived emergency surgery and said 2 more, please. I survived my son's head burst open in my own neighborhood where I lay my own head at. I survived the car soda can crunching on an oak tree. Sunset the woman I trusted most when she partial tongue tome. I can't believe you really suicidal because you ain't never did it. The break-in, the breaking, the assault. I survive and survive, I survive, but a bitch gotta live sometimes. I have stitched my own thread of life long enough to know it is in my hands, my mouth, my heart, my God. My depression has the audacity to try to use my hands to kill me, convince me to do it. No more. This is my house. How dare you wear shoes in my motherfucking house? I gained all this weight before and lost my love for myself. Lost it to get my love back. Gained my weight and loved myself at the same time. Yes, trauma do make a bitch hungry. Enough to eat my feelings and yours. The audacity of depression to exist inside me. Scream ghost in a mausoleum. Tried to make me graveyard lost. Depression inside of me. It is smaller. We have all beaten some small thing and lived to give the narrative, screamed it into abyss-colored microphone and stare at the world screaming back at us. We don't survive on accident. I get to live like I deserve my life, period. And I am done. I am done being a jester dancing in front of an unhappy God that I can't get to laugh. I'm dancing for me. And laughing the whole damn time. Now, I will get the world to dance with me. Thank you.
Kool-Aid tastes like a yesterday I wish I could return to. It tastes like Saturday morning cartoons when Power Rangers and Captain Planet used to set the weekend off right. Kool-Aid tastes like the memory of drinking cool, refreshing water from the water hoses on the side of neighborhood houses in the middle of summertime. See, we kids used to work up a 9-to-5 type of sweat from all the make-believe we let Mother Nature lead us in. Mud pies were like the steaks Mama couldn't afford with the pennies left over, but she used to let us spin those with the candy lady on the corner. Hot jumbo pickle juice would drip down our chins, and our favorite red and orange Kool-Aid frozen in those white styrofoam cups felt like FEMA after a hurricane on our tongues. Kool-Aid reminds me of recess. The playground taught me so much about friends and love, so you can gain them and lose them both in the same day, but something about tomorrow will give you a fresh batch of them both. Kool-Aid reminds me of Sunday school. Ruffled socks, ponytails, and free lunch. Kool-Aid reminds me of red light, green light, Miss Mary Mack dressed in her all black, 90s R&B jams, and those butterflies that used to sit at the end of our twist, Laffy Taffies. Kool-Aid reminds me of capri pants. It reminds me of my brother. An angel I want back. One that I wasn't ready to say goodbye to. His favorite flavor was green apple. Kool-Aid to you might seem like just powder and water with 2 pounds of sugar, if you're from where I'm from, that decides to become a sugary syrup. But for me, Kool-Aid is my favorite track of all my memories in live color. Kool-Aid will always be my rewind button, my floppy disk, my CD, my VCR. Most importantly, Kool-Aid will always taste priceless.
The word non-entity is described as something that does not exist, or it only does exist in the imagination. And for so long, I related that as personal when I did not know how to ask for help. Though willing to give my last shirt and last dime to a willing friend and stranger, I didn't believe that success would ever enter into this life of mine. My mental health issues never confronted, only through my poetry, then dismissed. I needed some help. Marijuana is great, yet it is a mind-altering drug, and I realized through a clouded lens how much clearer my vision could be if I only trained my body and my mind to not be dependent on weed. See, as people, we create these outlets and we get rid of all these things we feel we don't need, but we keep around the grief and the anger like we selected them as friends. We remind us of the hardships that we went through. When we're asked why a little bitter, internally we suffer from lack of love, but the ones who love us, who steer us firmly in the right direction, are the last ones to receive text messages and phone calls. We drown ourselves in the bottom of bottles, doing clear damage to our brown skin, yet the celebration of any achievement or lack thereof has always been a part of our culture, so we look the other way when we see the alcoholic tendencies erupting, when we admit we need help. Many of us spend so much time alone, not trusting, from having our trust broken too many times before. But when will we realize that no partner as is or ever will be as loyal as God? I mean, I do understand the doubt. My mother was an ordained minister, well respected, groomed and molded by a well-respected pastor, and my father also an elder. With all that upbringing, I still strayed away, so I understand when you say that it's hard to have even a mustard grain seed of faith in the face of murder. By way of tragedy, to lose can make you feel hopeless, like chasing blowing winds, but just as there is darkness, there also too is divine light. The weakest aren't always the ones that's crying. The toughest aren't always the ones that's win. It's the strongest ones who get up after falling and keep on grinding. So listen, I've cried a million times. It felt like every tear had staved the payment in vain, but God bottoms them up, you know. He loves you now. I had to learn to love me now. I can't find things that I've lost. I had to learn that to rewrite history in my lone life, it starts with redirecting, reconnecting, repositioning, loving yourself now through the hardships, because no one can do it for you. We pray and we believe that all things will manifest, and that does not change when we turn on the TV and they put racism and colorism in the front part of the news, as if there are no stories of overcoming and achievement left for us to hear. But I'm standing right here in front of you as motivation. It won't be in a 30-minute segment or a talk show. We're doing a commercial break. They tell you how your credit card payment is the only thing standing in the way of your divine light. You can be anywhere in the world without money or credit card, and just with a small grain mustard seed of faith, ask God with sincerity for his help.
I took a picture of you. I took a picture of you. You were present right there, in those slippery, fleeting, sobbing moments. Those eyes questioned and answered at the same time. Childlike curiosity and wise too. Can't imagine how you were drawn into the world not long ago. Got thrown into its wickedness. Now you're leaving soon. I saved that photo, but I couldn't save you. I had the means to reach your transit, but utterly powerless to keep you. I can't say how much I wanted to. With you went blush from the roses, mischievous laughters of the creek. Bird song fell off the trees. Firefly lost her sparkling streak. Though not at all sweet, you have been put to sleep. I hear your curious eyes speak. The pained grunt, a sick child's overheated body reek. Pink snouts reaching out, for the first and the last time, catching the whiff of spring. Sitting in your own refuse, you were heart-achingly beautiful to see. The mist in my eyes wanted to wash you, give a little kiss on the forehead, not let you sleep. I took a photo of you, saved it on my phone, in my heart and my soul, but I couldn't save you.
My name is Mo Graves, and this is my submission for Indoor Voices in the Outdoor World. The name of this poem is called Black Boy Joy. So today I woke up, black man in America, and decided not to die. Yep. Right after my 8 a.m. blunt with my side of coffee, after I checked my emails and returned some calls, and just before I walked out the door to hit the store, I told myself, not gonna die today. To be black in America is to be participating in the blood sport that you've been training for since birth. The former president of the so-called nation I live in told the world that me saying my life matters is a symbol of hate. Boy, fuck you. I was gonna make this another sad black struggle poem, but about halfway through writing I decided to make it about my black boy joy. So today I woke up to some good ass weed. My fro as nappy as it's ever been. My woman's still a walking goddess. It's my off day, my payday. I'm in a seafood mood. I rode around listening to my favorite song at the moment, Staying Alive by the Bee Gees. Yeah, today was a good day. Did I mention my kids even behave? They ain't even ask for nothing at Walmart. A day filled with black boy joy. I took a day off from my gentrification training to do hood rat shit with my friends, because I wanted to. I drank a beer with my daddy. All types of hood festivities, black boy joy at its finest. My homies shot a rap video in the trap with the strap. The dope man bought all the kids ice cream with a glorious ghetto day. Black people have excelled in the art of making joy out of despair. Ever since the days of Negro spirituals, the South got red soil from all the black blood it's absorbed throughout the years. Our ancestors died here, and that's why we so drawn to it. Churches litter every corner of southern streets in a half-hearted attempt at washing away the sins of the forefathers we haven't forgotten. Not to say we've forgiven. Perhaps we just biding our time. But in the mean and in between, back to this ghetto story of this happy black boy and all his joy, I decided that the bliss of this miraculously melanated day will not succumb to the weight of your white terror. The exuberance I exude today will be a sermon for the souls of my people, so forgive me if I'm too busy staying alive to be shucking and jiving, because when legacy and destiny intersected on this wonderful day, I decided this poem won't end in no sad song. So before I lead you on, spoiler alert, the black boy stays alive in this movie. Today, I woke up a black man in America, decided not to die, and I didn't.
about being hit on by another man. I feel it is my duty to give you a few pointers that will keep you safe from unwanted advances and increase your chances of keeping your dignity and underwear intact. Number 1. Don't show too much leg. No matter how hot it is outside, no matter how uncomfortable you are, unwanted advances are always more irritating than chafed legs. For it is better to have something on your skin to have something but somebody try to get underneath it. I think that's like a Bible quote or something. Number 2. Don't wear tight-fitting clothes. You all know how you love to wear those man-titty tempting tiny-ass workout shirts. Don't do that, even if you are working out. Actually, especially if you're working out. Men might stare at you while you're doing something so arbitrary as trying to stay healthy. They may even come up to you while you're listening to your headphones, or even worse, follow you around the gym or to your car or to your house. Number 3, don't smile, even when they tell you to, and trust, they will tell you to. Even when instructed by a complete stranger to alter your mood to make them feel more comfortable, don't. It just invites even more unwanted attention, and exposed teeth can often be misread as, why yes, I do the oral. Plus, and as I hit my teeth, right? Plus, it is better to be thought of as a bitch than to be treated like one. Number 4, don't make any jokes, because any sign of having a sense of humor can be confused with I want to have sex. Now, it's a slippery slope. Slippery from the KY. Was that a joke? Fuck. Number 5. Don't take pride in your appearance, because an updo always screams, yes, undo this hair while you do me. 5A, don't, under any circumstances, grow an afro, because afros are slutty. They love to be touched all over by people they don't even fucking know. 6. Don't drink, and I don't just mean alcoholic beverages, but something as simple as water can find something slipped into it for somebody to slip into you. Number 7. Don't have an opinion. Don't be too right or too smart or have a personality too big, because even though they may be taller than you, they will still attempt to bring you down to size. I think that's what they call flirting. Number 8. No matter how tired you are, don't fall asleep. Especially around men who find you attractive, they'll call themselves your friends, because when men fall asleep around their friends, they wake up to penises drawn on their faces, while women wake up to penises drawn on their faces. Number 9. Don't tell him no thank you or that you're not interested when he asks for your number, because he might do something silly like shoot you in the face. Instead, tell him you have a boyfriend. Yes, I know you're straight, I got that. But no matter how firm or polite, a lot of men won't accept no for an answer. They will, however, be more likely to respect the boundaries that another man has established. So basically, don't go out there walking and talking and breathing and thinking and blinking and winking and singing and drinking and dancing and prancing and dondering and blitzing and celebrating Christmas and having a wish list and waking up and going to sleep and wanting to be and breathing, and you should be just fine. Thank you. Feminism, fuck yeah! Feminism, fuck yeah!
I submit to my elders, my ancestors, blessed teachers. My arms are empty. My heart is tired. My pockets are void. The fire extinguished. I can no longer hear the angels. The seraphim are in silent retreat. Magma core troops withdrawn, their battlefield strewn with abandoned bodies, fear and anger. I can't smell the difference between cudgel and comfort. Cannonball amputations leave holes unfillable in my bones, my brain, my vital organization. In the name of expediency, I steal miracles instead of manufacturing a civilized word beyond a splutter and howl. Fanfare of the guttural spirits of my forebears, I send my supplication on the wings of bees, wrapped in stale cotton and yellowed linen. I swear on and at the wren song in my wrist, grand holy noise that is silence, that is noise. I cannot hear you anymore. I release my primordial scream into the void, champion caustic ululations, words on the wall, rhododendrons and azaleas as transcendent of a digital complex, segmented, pixelated, fabricated from a pheasant cry, severed from the starstruck creation, a Talon woman coughing, pen and pencil graphite from the sun-extinguished atrophy ducts. The end of everything isn't coming. I only have this hollow echo of throat and sternum, holler to the core wood of the swaying tulip poplar, to the grubs and ants and pillbugs churning the earth, to the muscle and skin against carbonized air, to a billion muscles baking to death in their own shells under an unguided man-sun, to missile and musket, to fusing chromosome to chromosome. I found this scream in my throat. I offer it back to you, angel song, return to me. Amen.
Hey Outdoor Voices family, it's been a little minute since I checked in with y'all, and I said I cannot let another project go by and not be part of this beautiful energy I have going on. So I am going to share a poem with you that I wrote back when I first started speaking spoken word, and it was kind of my way to just let out a lot of energy that I was holding on to. I was in a relationship where the guy told me that I wasn't New York enough, I wasn't swagged out enough to be a real Bronx chick. So this was my words to him when I finally got the courage to say what I wanted to say. At the time I didn't, but it did take me some growth along the way, and then eventually I spoke this poem. It was my first time speaking my spoken word in public. So here we go. The title of it is Define Bronx Chick Nigga. Define Bronx chick nigga, and don't give me that stereotypical everyday Jordan wearing, middle finger to the ceiling, get dressed to stand on the block riffing, posting on social media, dick tripping, fighting with bitches, pulling out weeds and dissing your baby moms and children, bootlegging type definition of Bronx chick nigga. That does not define. That is simply a picture of how much progression needs to be made in this world of oppression. You see, maybe if we change the way we say the words in which we speak, we can impact the minds and defeat those systems developed to keep us weak. You see, I am transforming that phrase from Bronx chick to Bronx chic. I am reclaiming my elegance as a woman. I am wearing my crown, which over the years we have forgotten, lost, removed, or put down. I am saying to my mothers in the hood up to no good, go home and put your children's knowledge on fleek, as it should. Focus on being right by their side. Stop trying to be Nicki Minaj, and there's only one Cardi B. So create your own lane for our youth's destiny, so they may be hit to the systems developed to keep us weak, disguised by the jump man called Air Jordan, who crossed us over with his fortune cookies, Chinese sweatshop factories, and dumped our whole paychecks away while workers in Asia make $1 a day. I am reclaiming my elegance as a woman. I am wearing my crown, which over the years we have forgotten, lost, removed, or put down. I am saying to my mothers in the hood up to no good, go home and put your children's knowledge on fleek, as it should. Let's own the blocks in which we stand. Let's stop hating each other. Let's stop fighting one another and start having positive dialect with one another. Let's stop being controlled by dick. Put our heads together, especially my women of color. Let's start asking the baby mothers if they need help with their children. This is no secret. It's just my homemade recipe. No charge. Free delivery. What we do is we turn the heat all the way up. Remix the contents with a quart of elegance, a hint of street, an ounce of sass, and then top it off by telling all the haters out there to kiss our black ass. You see, this is how you know when it's done. When you can walk into a room and they don't have to ask you anymore who you are or where you're from. You see me? I choose to transform that phrase from Bronx chick to, well, Bronx chic.
How do you wake at 2 in the morning with craziness on the brain? How do I train my mind not to think of you? Why are these nights and these days so different? Why am I always trying to fix what's not my fault? You decided to walk away and you decided not to communicate. What you lacked, I was your exact opposite at. You refused to display your feelings. I might have been a little aggressive, maybe too expressive. But I found it hard for me to suppress what made me more than happy, I guess. But maybe you didn't feel the same way, because I don't ever remember you reciprocating those expressions. Maybe you like to watch how much I was sprung over you. Maybe I was just the girl you enjoyed when you were bored with nothing to do. Maybe it boosted your ego. Maybe you enjoyed leading me on because you were fully aware of your charm already. Or maybe you didn't feel any of that, and this poem is just petty. Or maybe it's not. Either way, my mind can't wrap around how things came to an end, and I just really can't stop thinking about it because of the female that I am. I always want to fix what I feel has potential, and you didn't give me that chance. So now I'm going back and forth in my head about how I let myself get like this. How I didn't see the warning signs to your selfishness. How I didn't see that you were attention whore to my willingness to give you all of mine. And how I didn't see that you were such a waste of my time. I mean, it wasn't all bad, right? There were times that it was good. You know those times that you would touch me on my thighs and look me in the eyes? That nonverbal communication is about all you gave me consistently. But my mind, you see, my mind is so persistent, see. I needed more. Way more than the nonverbals. I wanted to hear you say, "You're beautiful." So beautiful. More beautiful than mama's pearls. Okay, maybe not that deep. But you catch my drift, right? I stroked your ego on more than one occasion, so why is it that you never stroked mine? Why is it that you never penetrated my mind? Why didn't you do more than kiss my lips? Why didn't you let something more than that tongue slip from behind those pearly whites? And why am I still talking about you on this mic? Why do I let your presence give me so much anxiety? And why do I let others tell me that they're proud of me for moving on? When really, I haven't. I haven't grasped hold on to letting go of you. It's probably because I really genuinely liked you. You probably like me too, but not as much. Maybe just some. Because everyone put it in your ear about us becoming one. You know, a cute couple. But it was never that simple. Although I wish it was. So how do I rid of these 2 a.m. crazy thoughts of you? I don't really know. But I'm gonna keep writing and writing until my anger, my sadness, my depression over you is completely non-existent. Because honestly, that's the only way that I know how to fix it.
Another boring English lesson. A funny thing, the English language, like how fish as a noun means one of 32,000 species, while fish as a verb means to attempt to kill them. Life and death literally hanging between the parts of speech. Fish, noun, an underwater breather. Fish, verb, to take their breath. Interjection, damn. Fish, noun, an animal with scale-covered flesh. Fish, verb, to pierce their flesh. Simile, the contrast cutting like a fillet knife. Fish, noun, a living being. Fish, verb, to end their life. Prepositional phrase without a second thought. Fish, Noun. An animal who feels pain. Fish. Verb. To ignore their pain. With pronoun replacing the antecedent, we've hooked our compassion and drowned it in tartar sauce. Fish. Noun. A vertebrate unable to scream. Fish. Verb. To sit in the breeze and pretend killing is peaceful.
Just a little something, something. Just a little something, something for the ladies. You June Cleaver in heels, stockings, A-line dress, pearl necklace wearing, breakfast, lunch, and dinner cooking, house cleaning, laundry washing woman. Maya Angelou poem penning. Tiffany Haddish scene stealing. Oprah Winfrey wealth building. Viola Davis acting. What? Shaka Khan singing. Tamala Man praying, hair slaying, sister. Setting it off like Queen Latifah, wop having, Corinne Stephan superhead giving, Cardi B pole dancing, Beyonce booty bouncing, Ava DuVernay script writing, RGB justice serving, handling business like a motherfucking boss. You Lizzo non-fat shaming, Meghan Markle heir to the throne disclaiming, TLC no scrub entertaining, fuck him till he sleep energy draining, magical human being. You Kamala Harris history making, Harriet Tubman freedom taking, Kizzmekia Corbett vaccine creating, hidden figure calculating, strong feminine ball of fire. Hot flashing, twerking, 9 to 5 working, mani-pedi painting, natural or weave wearing, nurturing breastfeeding, creator of life. You butcher, you baker, you candlestick maker. Don't front or judge. Every woman watching this piece is or has been at least one of them goddesses. Our shit don't ever stop. We wear many hats every damn day, running things. We're leaders, presidents, monarchs. Our words become law in our queendoms. Rock that crown, keep holding it down, do the damn thing, boo. Because the world can't get along without you. One single rose, no stem.
Sometimes I feel like I owe you an apology. An apology for the fact that you came into this world during a time when I was lacking some direction. See, my love was mistaken, and my innocence was taken. And this legal fornication was not real love, but merely an indiscretion. See, my unfulfilled need for a male's embrace put me in a 40-week race to learn everything it is I needed to know about how to raise a godly man. And while I popped prenatal pills and did everything I had to do to go to battle just for you, my other half dropped his sword, his shield, and his staff, and then he ran into the bosom affair where he stayed. Now trust me, son, this is not at all what I wanted for you. And I did very well in school, and I know that I was listening in math class when they said that 1 + 1 + 1 = 3, and not 2. But here we are, just the two of us, with no stronger love than the love that is shared between the two of us. But know that it is in love when I push you, son, for the need for you to turn from the godly prince that you are to the godly king that you will one day be with a quickness is indeed a must. And you are not as alone as you might feel at times, because in God you must learn to trust. And I wish I had a magic potion, but I don't. A magic potion to remove the stigma that will be placed over your head because you are the child of a single mother. Or a magic potion to remove the incompleteness I know your soul must feel at times because you came into this world looking for two and you found me, but you didn't find the other. And I would be setting you up to be a loser if I allowed you to use it for an excuse or for to one moment argue for any of your limitations. Instead, I push you twice as hard because the whole entire world is watching you, so you must exceed any and all expectations. Like the expectation that you will become an angry black man rotting in jail instead of peaceful graduating from the top of your class from Yale. Or the expectation that you'll be robbing and looting a variety of businesses, lest I say you're already trying to figure out how to start your own business. The expectation that you will have no real love for yourself or no real love for any other black man. No, son. I will put you in the environment with other black men who love you and legitimately feel the need to see you succeed, and then your eyes will see that the actions of your father do not match the actions of every black man. But know that he loves you, son. He just don't quite know how to show you, son. Block it out when you think you cannot do it. Block it out when you feel the need to run. Block it out when you feel less than adequate. Block it out because you are God's son. Yes, you are Naji, which means friend of the Creator. You are the cream of this whole entire planet Earth, its creator and its maker. So you cannot feel any less than adequate out here in life's race because you have the Almighty on your side. For surely he who thou befriendest most surely will not be disgraced. So I guess in fact no apology is necessary. Because your journey will be better than good or great or ordinary. Your journey will be revolutionary. Yes. You are being raised in a single-parent household, but you are the divine child of God. So I make it real, because it's what I know, and it's because it's what I feel. By etching it in stone, I place it in the words of this poem that everything you touch, my son, from here on out, it will indeed turn to gold.
The least of these. Feet and back toward the camera, a child lies on the broad sidewalk in front of shops and other businesses in an occupied Polish city, May of 1941. That's all the image and caption relate with any certainty. We don't know if he's alive or dead. The expressions of those around him don't tell us, even those of the other children. He could be tired of walking or waiting, and so is resting. Perhaps a sibling said something taunting or unkind, or a parent said no to buying chocolate, and so he's thrown a tantrum. No hand seems to reach out to him. No stranger's compassion turns to see what's wrong. It feels like his invisibility is complete. He is illusory, a figment. And this is where I get lost, become frightened. turn inside myself to find some anchor. For even my grandfather, openly racist and disdainful of others, taught me by example to take a moment, cross the street, kneel at the side of someone's possible distress.
I used to play the dozens around the neighborhood. As a matter of fact, I played the dozens of times. Everything from jokes about clothes to shoes to the darkness of my hue, but I always drew the line at your mama jokes. You know, like, your mama's so broke she can't even pay attention. Your mama's so poor people rob her house for practice. But see, the fact is we were poor. So this poem is an ode to old school mothers who made it work in the face of adversity. Thank you for raising us. Now, my mother never really yelled. She's always been more of a threaten you through clenched teeth type of mother. That type to tell you beforehand that you better not ask for nothing in the store type of mother. That don't embarrass me in these streets type of mother. I'm not one of your little friends type of mother. That type where if the street lights beat you home, she was probably going to beat you a second time. and probably one of my favorites that you got McDonald's money type of mother. But see, what I didn't realize as a child was that she was preparing me for the world as an adult. That there were life lessons in her lectures, guidance in her grounding, salvation in her spankings. And I never quite understood how that belt was going to hurt her more than it hurt me until I became a mother, but I get it now. So this poem is an ode to old school mothers who impart wisdom unto children, often too foolish to listen. Don't ask for nothing in the store, because nothing in this world is free. Don't embarrass me, because the caliber of your character is important. I'm not one of your little friends. Demand your respect. Beat the street lights home, otherwise the streets can and will beat you. And yes, my mother sometimes had McDonald's money, but she also had the sense to save it for rainy days. So this poem is an ode to old school mothers who taught street smarts and common sense as an accompaniment to the expected graduation. Now, I never quite figured out who Boo Boo the Fool is, but I knew it wasn't my mother. I knew she wasn't born yesterday, and that a hard head made a soft behind. I knew I better knew my schoolwork like I knew those songs. And I also learned that as scientifically impossible as it may sound, talking back could get me knocked into next week, so I would watch my tone when I would speak. I learned that leaving the door open would somehow heat the hole outside. And y'all, my mama taught me about finances fast, like, don't let your mouth write a check that your butt can't cash. So I was low-key impressed and terrified, which is probably why I drew the line at your mama jokes. So this poem is an ode to old school mothers who played no games when it came to raising us, because ain't nothing funny about that.
Dear old black people, what's wrong with you? 50 years later, marching around the problem doesn't change the problem. It just shows you're stuck with no new direction, and that's a problem. Stop expecting the next generation to care about anything when you made it perfectly clear you're willing to trade hoods and hangings for one black man in the White House. Did you forget the lives? Did you forget the signs? We haven't overcome a damn thing. Dear young black people, hashtag problem. You've allowed yourselves to forget where you come from. Slavery's making a comeback. Forget whips and chains across backs of slaves. Watch your back, young buck, buy new whips. 2 chains make history irrelevant. Did we learn anything from our ancestors? Let's take a look. Blood them with scraps, that's 1 grade above dog food. Give it a catchy jingle, ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Make them proud to eat shit. Don't trust them new niggas over there. They think they better than us. I could have freed more had they known they were slaves. Hashtag Harriet, who? Maybe I need to say this in auto-tunes. Dear modern-day hip-hop, we will not blame you for Cardi B, Lil Wayne, and Meek Mills unless we accept responsibility for 2 Live Crew, Schoolie D, and Lil Kim. But then the generation before us would have to realize each one, teach one. And I remember the lessons taught by Marvin Gaye, Rick James, and Betty White. In this business, sex sells, and it's about making hits like Ike and Tina. Oops. I meant Chris and Rihanna, you're too black to be beautiful. Make your hair blonde, change your eyes, lighten your skin, cover girl. Ooh, nah, nah, what's your name? Who cares? Just shake your ass for the camera. The men will want you, the women will want you, the world will adore you. Give them head, make it super. No need to respect yourself, be the baddest bitch. Inject yourself, watch the young die to be you. Who run the world? Girls. No need to act like a woman, just think like a man is plain stupid. I used to love her when she was real. Dear conscious black poets, shut the fuck up. Strike that. Kill yourself. Your mother should have swallowed. And while I'm at it, put your fucking shoes on. It's just plain nasty. When did you become so black? When did you become so free? Why are you not a slave as opposed to everyone else? You still have a certificate of birth. Why do you think your name is in all caps? Because you are capital. Anything registered, the government can claim. But I bet you already knew that. And got a poem about it. Did you also know that revolution means going in circles? So I'm gonna need you to stop fucking around. Stand your ground. Stand for something other than, you know what? The man. He always trying to keep us down. Dear white people in blackface, if no one fucks your shit up on sight, then apparently it's okay. But dear black people in blackface, I'm gonna need you to stop getting mad over pictures of white people in blackface when Medea can still captivate millions and you are willing to coon for the camera. Imagine if black women said no more monster balls and black men actually grew a pair and said no to the minstrel show. Imagine if we invest in what we see versus being seen, but you be like, nah, my nigga, you know what I'm saying? It's my time to shine. World star. Dear black people, as long as you act like a nigga, we'll always pay to be one.
The average human mouth has 32 teeth. Through no fault of my own, I have 10 fewer. I have a small mouth and a big voice. I have a high palate, but I'm tasteless. But there are some days when my teeth feel huge, when the battlefield of my mouth clashes specialized bone swords between my upper and lower tribes. When my ancestors make their way out of my DNA and manifest in the gnashing of teeth when I dreamwalk. When my brain wants to burst with all the things I never said. When the rumbling brook of my blood deteriorates my memory banks. When I just can't brush enough to clean away the smell of my garbage disposal stomach. When I just can't brush away enough to clean the smell of my garbage disposal heart.
What would we have done if thrown into an overcrowded jail cell, one no jailer ever bothered to clean, incarcerated for standing up for our beliefs, hearing the sobs of battered captives now not so sure of their convictions? What would we have done if, when standing in front of a broken mirror, the waning sun cast just enough light through a tiny barred window to reveal the reflection of our mangled face? What would we have done? Given up? Asked God why had he forsaken us? Martin Luther King Jr., jailed in Birmingham, Alabama, withstood those very realities. His stance, though, never wavering. He wrote a letter written with a pen dipped in the blood of our ancestors. He put voice to the cries of a generation, explaining that privileged groups seldom give up their privileges voluntarily, and that freedom must be demanded by the oppressed. Jailed in May of 1963, always aware of the danger, he knew he might never see the fulfillment of his dream. And just a mere 5 years later, he would be called home. But on this day, the souls of all the innocents killed during one-sided peaceful protests covered him, allowing his fortitude to be a driving force behind so many of the positive changes that we benefit from today. Still, so much work ahead, and still so many similarities to days long gone. Even with his home under constant attack, he stood firm in his ideals. Still, in 2020, Breonna Taylor was gunned down in her home. King was jailed for standing up for those who perished during church bombings. Even so, in 2015, 9 were gunned down during Bible study. King was incarcerated for pointing out that we are the victims of broken promises. Yet in 2016, Philando Castile was shot by police for having a legal gun and permit in his car. King explained that when you have seen vicious mobs lynch your mothers and fathers at will, and seen hate-filled policemen curse, kick, and even kill, when you see your brothers and sisters smothering in an airtight cage of poverty, then you will understand why we find it difficult to wait. Words so reminiscent of cries of "I can't breathe" and what I call today's legalized lynching. What must we do to move forward? Say the names and remember those killed unjustly. Ahmaud Arbery, Botham Jean, Sandra Bland, Tamir Rice, Timothy Russell, Melissa Williams, John Crawford, Trayvon Martin, George Floyd, and so many others. And what can we do? We can march while remembering protest is not the problem. It is simply a symptom of a pre-existing disease left festering. You see, Martin explained that one has only a legal right and a moral responsibility to obey just laws. He also explained that conversely, one has a moral responsibility to disobey unjust laws. I say wait no longer, even if misunderstood, because as Martin proclaimed, no man can set a timetable for another man's freedom, and there will never be a convenient time for change. Today, we must stand for hope, social justice, racial equity, gender equality, and immigrant rights. All because, as Martin Luther King Jr. so eloquently explained, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Now, I ask you, what will you do?
Hi, I'm Quinn. This is If We Break Up. If we break up. First off, if we break up, we are not breaking up. You are getting dumped. I am dumping you. We are not breaking up. We are not breaking up. What a suggestion. But if we break up. If we break up, I am going to go on a diet, and I am going to eat a bunch of vegetables because I love my body. I am grateful for this creaky, clunky meat sack that carries me painfully and awkwardly through my days, and I will give her everything she needs. I will nourish my body. And I will not give her quite so many Pringles. And I may even use that discount code for the high-end personal appliances if we break up. If we break up, I will take all of the time that I used to spend on planning dates for us, all of the time thinking up dinners you would enjoy and watching movies that you like, Ken Burns, and listening to you talk about some obscure band that literally no one has ever heard of, and Googling through weird bootlegs on dodgy vinyl swap sites because you said something once about this one riff in this one song on this one album. I will take all of that time and I will spend it on myself. I will go to the gym. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get on the elliptical. No, I'm gonna lift weights. I'm going to do reps. I'm gonna get ripped. I'm gonna be so strong. If we break up, I'm gonna be strong. I'm gonna be so strong if we break up. If we break up, I'm gonna be strong. And you know what I'm gonna do? Like for real, you know what I'm for serious going to do is I am gonna stop shaving. That's for damn sure. I'm gonna stop shaving. I'm gonna stop depilating my body from the eyelashes down. I'm gonna let all my hair grow in. I am gonna turn into Lady Sasquatch and go stomp around in the woods. I'm going to become an invisible monster that no one can find, and no one will know whether I'm real or not. I will come and go as I please. No one will be able to find me. No one will be able to judge me. I will be the hairiest and the smelliest and the most mysterious of monsters. And no one will know if I'm real if we break up. If we break up, there will be no one who can say whether I am real. After my time in the woods, I will come back to civilization and I will give myself all of the things that my body likes. I will get out my bath potions, all those things you complained about, everything cluttering up your shower, everything that you said, "Wait, what are all these colorful jars in my way?" I'm gonna get it all out. I'm gonna give myself a sugar scrub followed by a salt bath. I will exfoliate. I will put on a face mask. I will take off that face mask. As the water hits my face, I will lose every single skin cell that you ever touched or looked at. I will wash them all down the drain. I will be all new and pink and raw and tender like a freshly peeled cocktail shrimp. I'm gonna wash my hair with champagne. I'm gonna put a eucalyptus bath bomb on the floor and just let it fizz and breathe in the new me. I will clear out my airways. Everything will smell like Vicks Vapo Rub. It will smell like when you're sick and you're trying to get well, but you're still coughing and you're still sore and you're running a fever and you just can't make yourself get out of bed. My eyes may sting a little bit. I may tear up a little bit, but I will not care because I will be breathing in the new me, the one who's better, the one who didn't mess up, the one who's easier to live with, not quite so mouthy, has probably never just lost a light bill, probably doesn't fart. And your mom would really like her. My mom would really like her. I would like her. You'd like her. I'm gonna get a new haircut and a manicure and a pedicure and a massage because you do not give me enough massages. And then I will buy a new dress, and I'm going to go out in my new dress with my new haircut and my new skin and my relaxed shoulders and my confident posture and my gym muscles and the self-assurance of a person who gets enough daily fiber and keeps a journal, and who has balanced her macronutrients and her chakras so well that spike heels are not even a challenge anymore. And I will walk down the sidewalk, spike by spike, a being of surpassing loveliness. I will stop traffic with my beauty. There will be horns blaring, tires squealing, rubber streaks hot on the road, crumpled metal, cars swerving out of my way, crashing into each other, clouds of smoke and flame, and I will not notice and I will not care, because I will not care about anything if we break up. Thank you.
"12 long-stemmed red roses gifted. A dozen apologies for shit he ain't sorry for. 12 padded cushions for the shit she doesn't know about yet. 12 pats of butter for the shit he might do. A dozen red flags wrapped in pretty paper and tied with a bow, placed in a vase. Add water, add sugar, prolonged death in these already dying things. This death, aromatic, masks the smell of foul play, replaces the last 12 apologies withered. She presses them between paper, displays dried glory in cellophane, scrapbook remembrance of sweet spots in their Sour Patch romance. 12 long-stemmed red roses gifted. Love wrapped in thorns, prickly like conditions, contractual obligations to keep his attention, submission, complicit in her own demise, but sometimes he brings her flowers.
Electric word life. Minister come maestro, with tectonic production teasing sin and salvation, strategic creativity mostly on days ending in now. Painted in mosaic what he dreamed in 4 dimensions, found a compromise called music for what made war and love in his head. Coaxed subwoofers to quake, made them cry fine wine, fingers stroke keys, yearning for a cameo in composition, making his own guitars so damn jealous. When the conductor brought his most valuable players to your local arena, he wasn't bringing his jump shot, and he had a jump shot. But ultraviolet gospel, pheromone-soaked hymns, every surface, a dance floor, an altar, every shout a prayer for the funk to free you, the rock to steady you, the soul to wrap around and guide you. Curfew was just a suggestion. Tell your mama you ain't coming home until we are glamorous, until we party apolitical, until we dream the whole spectrum of humanity and love, until you dance electric over and under bridges to hearts, until you can pronounce him, until the rain separates red and blue, until the bombs stop dropping. Stop me if I'm boring you. Until permissive tongues tangle whispers, until space holds your horizon, until we are undulating in 4/4 time, until guitar shred and wail and moan and throb of amplifier baptizes you in black sweat, until you forget where your river begins and ends, until the difference between love and lust is gravity. Know that this testimony, 20,000 enraptured, bearing witness to funk and vision, to tears and strings, to sound and style, to scripture and playground, to art and hunger, to revelry and doves to sex and history to magnetism and love. A canon so sublime that when he brought you to the temple, strobe lit and breathless, and stripped you and them and him down to your rhythm, it was only then that you recognized that it was all for you. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here.
Inside out, and I lost my direction. I heard when that happens, you can make up new ones. Inside out, life meets illusion in the cloud.